Ever had that sinking feeling that some tiny, forgotten mistake from years ago could pop up and bite you? Well, for a lot of freelancers and professionals in Mexico, that's not just a fear, it's a very real possibility. Today, we're not just going to break down a scary tax notice, we're going to show you exactly how to beat it. So let's set the scene. Picture this. It's early 2020. You've just finished a big project, you nailed it, and that sweet payment finally hits your bank account. You're feeling good, right? Everything seems totally fine. But what you don't know is that hiding in the background of this happy moment is one single tiny administrative slip-up. And it's basically a ticking time bomb, just sitting there, quietly, set to go off almost exactly 5 years in the future. So what actually happened way back then? I mean, it was a totally standard deal. You provided a professional service and the company paid you. And like the law says, they held back a piece of your income tax, that's the ISR, and they paid it directly to the authorities for you. On the surface, everything looks perfect. And, when you go to file your monthly taxes for February 2020, it all checks out. The system takes your income, it sees your deductions, and boom, it credits you for the tax your client already withheld. The math all works. You look like a model citizen, totally compliant. So get this, after everything's said and done with the tax your client already paid for you, your actual tax due for that whole month was a tiny 26 pesos. You paid it, right? And you moved on. As far as you're concerned, you and the taxman are completely square. But there was that one little mistake, that single point of failure. One step was just forgotten. The official digital tax invoice, it in Mexico as a CFDI, it was simply never created for this payment. That's it. A vital piece of digital paperwork is just missing from the official record. Okay, let's jump forward in time. It's June 2025 now. You have completely forgotten about that little project from 2020. And then, bam, an official notification pops into your digital mailbox from the SAT, Mexico's tax authority, and your heart just sinks.
The notice is, it's chillingly direct. It basically says, hey, you know that 1,500 peso tax credit you claimed way back in February 2020? Yeah, well, our computers can't find the official invoice to back it up. You gotta fix this. And just like that forgotten bit of paperwork is now a very, very real problem.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth did this sit there for 5 whole years? Well, think about it. You got paid in February 2020. Your client, being responsible, paid the tax they withheld to the SAT the very next month. But here's the kicker. Because there was no CFDI, there was nothing digitally connecting those two events. It was like a ghost in the machine, just floating around, waiting for some automated program to finally catch it, which it did, right before the 5-year deadline to audit ran out. Unbelievable.
So when you get a letter like this, what's your first thought? It's to fix it, right? You think, okay, fine. I'll just go file a corrected return for that month and make this whole nightmare go away. I mean, it feels like the right thing, the responsible thing to do.
Yeah, that seems like the obvious move, doesn't it? Just go back, tweak the old return, make the government's computers happy. But you have to be so careful here, because this common sense solution, it's actually a trap. And it's a trap that's going to make things way worse for you financially. So you go ahead and file that corrected return. And this is where the trap slams shut. The SAT system, because it still can't find that missing CFDI, it forces you to completely remove that 1,500 peso tax credit. You still have to declare all the income, of course, but now you've lost the proof that a big chunk of the tax was already paid on your behalf. And the result? It's a total catastrophe. Your tax bill for that one single month from 5 years ago, it just explodes. Now suddenly you owe 1,291 pesos. You're literally being forced to pay a tax that you know, and the government should know, was already paid.
And it gets so much worse. That number, that's just the starting point. Because on top of that, the SAT is going to tack on 5 years of inflation adjustments and some pretty hefty late payment penalties. So what started as a single missing document has just snowballed into this massive, completely unfair financial hit.
So you're feeling trapped, helpless, right?
what can you even do? Well, this is the turning point. This is the aha moment. The solution is rooted in this really powerful legal idea that honestly every taxpayer needs to have in their back pocket.
Okay, so the principle is called substance over form. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It means that the economic reality of what actually happened, that's the substance, is way more important than the strict paperwork rules, that's the form. Put simply, what really happened matters more than a missing file.
And here is the absolute best part. The SAT already has all the proof it needs. Their own system shows the substance. Just think about it. They know your client reported paying you. They know your client reported withholding that 1,500 pesos. And this is the most important part. They know your client paid that money to them way back in March 2020. The tax was paid, period. The economic reality is solid as a rock. So now that you're armed with this killer principle, what's the game plan? Let's walk through the right way forward, your step-by-step action plan to fight this thing and win. Okay, here is your 5-step playbook. Step 1, and listen closely, this is the most important part. Do not file a corrected return. Just don't do it. Instead, step 2, you submit a formal clarification, or an aclaración, using the SAT's online portal. Then, step 3, in that clarification, you make your case. You argue substance over form. You just lay out the facts. The tax was paid. Step 4, you state clearly that making you pay again is totally disproportionate and unfair. And finally, step 5, you point out the obvious. It's physically impossible to issue a 2020 invoice today. The system literally won't let you. And look, this isn't just some clever loophole you found online. This is a solid legal argument. In fact, it's backed up by Mexico's own taxpayer defense attorney, the Protocon. Their whole position is that the punishment for a missing invoice can't be some giant tax bill that completely ignores the fact that the government already has the money in its bank account. So when you boil it all down, this whole mess teaches us one crucial lesson. Yeah, your taxes might be paid, the money might be exactly where it needs to be, but the real question you have to ask yourself is this: is my paperwork locked down? Because spending a few extra minutes today to make absolutely sure every single CFDI is issued and correct, well, that can save you from a massive, stressful, and incredibly expensive headache 5 years down the road.